This is the Battle of Naboo, straight from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and brought to life in LEGO form. It's got over 600 battle droids, and they're fighting against about 300 Gungan warriors. Plus it's packed full of all sorts of incredible details. So let's take a closer look, shall we? This incredible diorama was built by Alexander Dombrowski, and it was on display at the Skabeck Fan Weekend over in Denmark. Yeah, now right off the bat, there's something so pleasing about seeing an army of battle droids all lined up like this. Both the droids themselves and the vehicles behind them look awesome. Yeah, normally when I see a MOC like this and it uses sets for the vehicles on display, I'm not normally a big fan of that. I prefer seeing actual MOCs of those vehicles instead of the sets themselves. But I'm pleasantly surprised here. I love that they're using mainly sets. There's something nice about seeing a huge army of minifigures, as well as the tanks and the vehicles behind them. It just makes me feel like a kid again. You know, when you'd line up all your minifigures and your ships and have a big battle with all of them. The fact that this is using sets, it all just places me straight back into being a kid and playing with my LEGO Star Wars sets and doing pretty similar stuff to this. So yeah, there's something very joyous about seeing that. And hey, anytime you lay out an army like this, it just looks cool. Now, army building is something that many fans do, especially Star Wars fans. But seeing them actually fighting and battling, well, I feel like that's more exciting than just sticking all these minifigures on a base plate and calling it a day. You almost feel like Count Dooku in the Geonosians, looking over the battle map in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. You feel like you're a part of the battle, you're commanding these minifigures. It's just good fun. Battle dioramas like this, they're just kind of their own unique breed of MOCs. There's something so electric about them, you just feel like you're involved in the action. Oh, and I do love this Trade Federation landing ship. It's an awesome Star Wars ship, and I'm honestly surprised that very few people build MOCs of this incredible ship. And I'm also surprised that LEGO hasn't made a set of this ship yet. I hope that comes soon. Anyway, seeing one of these stand proud on this MOC, it makes it extra special given how few of these we see. I love seeing some of these subtle reddish-brown textures and greebles all throughout the ship, and I really enjoy these cute little turrets on the top as well. It's a really well-made copy of that original ship, and you know, sure, it's not fully to scale, but who cares? It looks awesome, and seeing that AAT driving out of the ship itself, very, very cool. Moving over to the Gungan side now, it's cool to see these brick-built Fambers, you know, the creatures that, as General Tarples once said in Phantom Menace, were starting up the shields. I enjoy seeing brick-built animals like this. It's a great testament to the power of curved slopes and how they can pretty fairly and accurately mimic the look of these creatures, as we see them in the movie. The shield generators are extra cool because they do have some lights in them and they look pretty fancy when they're all lit up there. All of the other animals and different weaponry that the Gungans have that have been built here, all of it's been very, very well done. I'm also quite impressed by the landscape on this diorama. You know, when we look at the actual scene in the movie, the battle droids and the Gungans literally fight on pretty flat grass plains. It's something that's fairly dull and a little bit difficult to translate into LEGO form and still keep it interesting. It's just a big old flat bit of green, right? But examining the grass in some of the shots of the movie, the grass is a little bit thicker and there's smaller tufts of grass popping up occasionally. So it's nice to see how they've translated that using lots of different pieces. You know, like these plates in varying sizes, as well as tiles. You know, the difference in textures between these two pieces helps break things up a little bit. And while most of this is built with these bright green pieces, there are patches of regular green, and these use a combination of tiles, jumpers, plates, and wedge plates as well. Now all of these different pieces, and a few patches of small concentrated plant pieces as well, this really helps to convey the look of this landscape, you know, like we see it in the movie. I love that they put the effort into making this more visually interesting. From texture changes to color changes, it's perfect. I mean, you could have easily just slapped down some green base plates and called it a day, but I'm very glad that they didn't. Suddenly this is so much more interesting. It's also a delight to see over 300 odd Gungan minifigures. You know, a lot of the time when you see minifigure armies, it's droids or it's clones or maybe knights from castle sets. So seeing these awesome Gungan warriors getting the respect that they deserve, well, it's refreshing. But yeah, 600 battle droids, that's also pretty cool as well. I do also love that they've included some of the swamps of Naboo at the very back of the diorama. Yeah, the swamps show up a few different times during the Phantom Menace, and when we compare the two together, they've done a pretty decent job of mimicking the look here. I really like this water design here, using these trans brown tiles with blue plates underneath to mimic that murky, gross swamp water. It's a great look. And when we study some of the different plants that are being used here, like the threefs, the 3-leaf pieces, we also have some of these curvy olive green stems, and then we have a few different leaf pieces, like these dark green leaf pieces, for example. Now, a lot of these have been present in recent years on the Pick-a-Brick wall. So it's nice to know that a few trips to the LEGO store and buying a couple cups worth of plants makes it a little bit easier to build a solid-looking swamp, much like this. Now, sure, some of the plant pieces, like these awesome stem leaf pieces, they're not on the Pick-a-Brick wall, at least not currently. So yeah, sure, this might require a few extra pieces from your collection or a couple bricklink orders, but hey, a good whack of this uses pieces that are very accessible if you have a LEGO store with a Pick-a-Brick wall in it. And if you don't have a LEGO store near you, these pieces will be a lot cheaper online because they're so readily available thanks to the Pick-a-Brick wall. So if you want to build a forest or a swamp like this, yes, it will require some money to buy all the parts that you need, but there are some cheaper methods to getting these parts that are required to achieve a look like this. But yeah, there's plenty of other fun details like this stone head that's in the swamp. We've also got a fun stone structure with a Gungan chilling on top. And we even have Anakin, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Padme, and Panaka over by this Naboo speeder having a little chat about the battle that's coming up, much like you see in the movie. So yeah, lots of wonderful details, really well-designed landscape, and the awesome sight of close to 900 minifigures having a big old battle. What's not to love? This is a brilliant diorama. Alexander Dombrowski did an incredible job making this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this incredible diorama. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.